repaired.
No.
None of us are talking, so.
I know, well, no, you have a brief conversation, talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a
Well,
time.
last month they were on Zoom. Did they not call in, want to get on Zoom or anything?
No, there was no
No
questions.
communication. That's
No.
my question for the evening. Wow.
Does the board have any questions about the standard I just set forth for you?
It's pretty clear to me.
And
Okay.
the statute keeps law doesn't indicate any term or time limit on, I mean, just whatever the board determines is reasonable.
Well, so we have to allow at least 10 days always on our orders, always, unless it's a public emergency.
But in it, theoretically giving someone 60 or 90 days to correct the problem, and those corrections are not made, is that sufficient time to?
But in this,
There's anything in the case law that says it has to be a certain number of days outside of the 10-day notice.
no, as the question is it likely?
Janette said it was going on
No, no,
for a long
I-
extended period of
I'm
time.
talking more in theory than
Right.
practical, because we're just trying to get some background noise, I think.
Right.
Here on our-
Yeah, and you're fine now, and
Okay.
one of the people in the online, maybe one of the Russells.
Okay. All right, so let's start with Mr. DeWitt telling us what his reinspection of the property has yielded.
It's one in. so
Can you
we
might
Yes.
come closer to the speakers, Chuck?
Well, what I found out is that there's been, I can't see any visible signs that they've done anything. You can see the porch here where it's coming apart and down. The breezeway between the garage and the house is rotted. There's a broken window there that's just got a pane holding it up. Push that out. Window there that's got plywood behind it. See plywood there behind that window on the inside.
Every day.
Okay. Holes in the side of it. There's the breezeway. This is the floor of the breezeway in between. Window boarded up. Boarded up.
And you found foundational impairment last time.
Yes, I'm looking to see pictures of that. Another window broken out and missing. Foundation is broken down, and I don't know that I have a picture today of that. Apologize.
But it has holes in this impaired?
Yes,
Okay, so let's just go through the list. You found the property to still be uninhabitable,
yes,
okay? You wouldn't find it to be fit for human habitation.
no, it's, there's no electricity. No, the gas meter's been removed. The walls inside are torn down. You can see studs and everything inside.
Would you find the property to be a public nuisance?
Oh, absolutely. There's has to be kids and varmints going in and out of there. You can see the tracks
Okay,
for the varmints.
and how long has this property been a problem?
Years.
Okay. How long has the town been in discussion with the property owners about the condition of the property?
With the Russells,
Yes,
2 years, 2.5 years now.
all right. Is there any other evidence that you would like to present or any other discussion you'd like to have?
And I mean, if you just look at it all, doors open, showed you all the windows that were open. just,
Do you think, given what you've seen of the Russells' effort, that the property repairs are likely to be made?
no way. I
Okay.
do not believe so.
No way. All right, are the Russells online?
Don't believe so. I checked with one and they said they were not.
The other person's name is Bill.
Yes.
I don't know who that is.
Okay. So is anyone in the audience for the Russells? And we don't have anyone online for the property owners?
Not anyone speaking up anyway.
Okay. All right, so let's open it up to the audience. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, would you swear in Jenny?
You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yeah,
Okay, Jenny, what's your function?
I'm the town manager.
Okay, and what testimony would you like to give about this
Um,
property?
I just know from my experience on both town council prior to me taking the job last year in May, that this property we've been dealing with this property beyond the recent hearings. Our previous attorney, Mr. Clevenger, met with the owners of the property when they first purchased it because it was in disrepair at that time. They had agreed to provide a plan to the town for what they were going to do. That never happened. When I joined as town manager in May of last year, they came in within a couple of weeks of me working here, said that they were going to make repairs. They gave me several reasons for why it hadn't been done. They came in again in the fall with excuses about why it had not been done. Right now, in addition to what Chuck pointed out as evidence on the property, I need to write them a grass nuisance letter as of today because the grass is long, the weeds are growing again. That has occurred also on this property in the past. I have numerous surrounding neighbors have complained about the property to both me and the town council. And so I don't believe that it will ever be repaired.
So your testimony would be based on your interactions with the property owners over the history of the course of 2 years, that it's not likely that these repairs will be made.
That is correct.
All right, do we have anyone in the audience that would like to speak up now?
I would.
Oh, I'd like you to state your name. Go ahead if you're
Name and
gonna.
address, please.
Karen Chesapeake, 527 Plymouth. My question, this property and for also Ohio, 435. Is there a history or can we produce a history from the town of Culver that shows a timeline of notifications, violations issued from any kind of communication with the homeowners that would give us an idea as to how long and how many attempts were made to repair or to correct problems?
I would have my unsafe building from when we've just started this board just recently. I don't know how the town tracks internal complaints, but I can tell you if Jenny's testifying in sworn testimony that for 2 years it's been a problem, we do know that that's.
But I think it would even further cement concerns from the town if we had a definite timeline that shows for 5 years we've been submitting concerns about the property, about the grass, about any other bushes or any other violation, so that we as citizens can see, hey, this has been going on for 5 years. This is something that really needs to stop. On the other hand, those of us in the audience who aren't as knowledgeable might say, well, this is the first I'm hearing about that. I'm not sure it's long enough. I'm not sure that the property owners have been given enough time to correct. So a timeline to me would be very helpful to see how many attempts have been made to correct the problem.
I think in the public record, that timeline exists. All of those reports to the town council on work that was promised to be done on this came forth at public town council meetings that were recorded and are on the YouTube channel. So I think if somebody questioned the testimony and contested that or tried to contest it, there is a record that exists on the YouTube channels of the history prior to the incident.
There's a record even going beyond, Ginny, of what Jonathan had to do
Right.
along those same lines as to what was going on with various properties around town and various letters that were written. So it's
Yeah, and
ongoing.
there are not, we don't bring every grass nuisance letter or every nuisance letter into a council room. So if, Jonathan's written 5 of them on a property and I've written 5 since, we do send those certified mail. We keep electronic copies of it. I'd have to probably dig for some of the past town managers, but they do
If
exist.
you have a computer record of every property now, you just punch in the address and you can say, oh, 4 years ago, we submitted this, such a date, you can go down the list and there's 10 violations. It's really easy to tell.
It'd be easier to do if it were in a database, but it's not in a database. It's
Right.
just an electronic file of whatever got sent. So wherever Jonathan stored them and Dave and Michael and, any town manager that sent them out. But yes, some properties have consistently received those.
And I would say going forward, the idea of having the unsafe building board was to get some of that centralized. I mean, for my purposes, every one of these properties that we're talking about, I have a timeline for each one of them, every letter that was sent, every communication that's been made, every stop at a door is itemized, but that's not gonna be the prior history. Yeah.
The standard of likeliness of this work getting done. It's my recollection at the hearing that we last had on this property, that the property owners said that they had engaged the services of an electrician, but it was under contract, and that this work would be completed by that point. And I think Mr. Duett has indicated that there's no electrical service being sold. I mean, clearly what they said they would do has not been done. That's, I think, the likelihood of some that was promised being done, and there was there an electrical permit, and was there an electrical inspection?
Can't tell you that. I can. If I had a few minutes.
No, but again, my recollection is that was something that they clearly said would be done by this meeting today. And I think that gets to the question of likelihood of some work being done that has been promised. This reinforces it, you're already aware.
Bill has,
That goes to what's in the minutes where after discussion, and I'm gonna quote, Mr. West made a motion to allow the owners of 709 Obispo until July 24th to tear down the breezeway, seal up the holes in the foundation, have electric and plumbing substantially complete, the house secure, allow an inspection of the property, and at the end of 60 days, provide a proposed plan and timeline for the remainder of the remodel. Ricardi, seconded the motion. Motion passed with 5 ayes. So we have taken the necessary steps to move forward. And based on what Ms. Surrisi has read to us on a case law, I mean, that's what we're discussing right now. And Judy, I wasn't trying to cut you off. If you have something to say, please state your name and go ahead.
I was going to mention that had come up in the last meeting, and living almost across the street from the house, nothing has been done there. There's been no workers, and as Jenny pointed out, the yard is out of control once again, so.
Can we close the public hearing?
well,
Any
we
more
have to see if
questions?
there's any more comment and if the board has any more comment.
I know I've driven by a few times, a few times a week, and I haven't seen any movement there.
Right.
If you drive along the side, you see, cats moving around because of that.
Well,
I
and
haven't seen any people working on anything.
Well, they live there. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
beyond that, you just haven't received communication, a proposed plan or
No,
timeline
there's no
or
plan,
anything.
timeline or anything, and
Yeah,
they had till 2 days ago to get this all into us.
okay, well, you need a motion.
I need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made by Rich, seconded by Bill Ham to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. moving forward, what is the board's recommendation? Is there a motion to affirm the demolition order? Or is there a motion to extend the timeline? What are the board's wishes? And you might want to say what happens if we move to do the demolition, or what is the next step, and
Well, I would,
what do the Russells have the time to do, or where would we go forward?
at this point, I would affirm the demolition order. They will have plenty of opportunity to proceed in court, just like the movie theater tried to do after we affirmed the demolition order. And they can argue with us there if they don't like what's going on. Otherwise, they'll get notice of the demolition and have to deal with it on our time frame. A demolition takes time. There's statutory notices that'll have to be sent, things like that, and bids to be let. But the onus will be on them to fight us about it then, versus us chasing them.
I move that we affirm the demolition.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Rich, seconded by Bill Ham, to affirm the demolition order on 709 South Obispo, the Russell Apolat Trust property. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You know, this is a slow process, but it moves forward. So I just want the public to know that, you know, just like last month or 2 months ago, do what you say you're gonna do, or, you know, we'll see you in court. Janette did one heck of a fine job going to court on Bob's Country Bunker. And, you know, like she said earlier, that's the purpose of this board, is to get these properties to, rather than just jawing about it, to get the homeowner in here, you know, just like Bob and his wife, you know, they said they were gonna do something. They did what they said they were gonna do. And this is the only way we're gonna get anything done in this town. But it puts people on notice that, you know, we're not messing around.
There has to be accountability.
That's exactly right. So. You know, we closed the public hearing. Didn't we?
Yeah, you have.
So we're going on to other, we're going to on to other business. Did we receive any written requests for hearings from the public that we know of?
No,
Are there any further updates on litigation regarding Bob's Country Bunker?
that was very successful. They initially filed a complaint saying their constitutional rights had been violated and everything else. And then we filed our response and we came to an agreement real quick. So we're good.
The agreement was to get it down by
Lake Fest.
Lake Fest, and I can assure you that, you know, when we're going through the parade, the number of people that were gathered where that would have been, and the things that could have happened, you know, if that thing had come down, and the liability the town could have sustained. So, you know, thank you very much. Any further business from the board? Or a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? Motion made by Bill Ham, seconded by Sally, to adjourn the Culver Unsafe Building Board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned. Thank you all for coming.